Hi gents, welcome back over Easter. Hope you had an easy enough time of it. What we're going to do is we're going to continue on with coordinate geometry. We're almost finished the line. This is in fact the last topic, and then we'll move on to a different type of coordinate geometry, one that involves the circle. But what we did the last time was we were working on exercise 7.6, so we'll just continue that today, and we'll do one of the trickier questions that's in there, so that you can be sure that you know exactly how to do it. So we'll go to, again, as said, exercise 7.6, and we'll go. It's on page 125 of book 4 of New Concise Project Maths, and we'll go with question 11. So just a small little recap from the last one. What we found was when you have two lines, the angle in between them is given by, well, we are told that tan theta is equal to the absolute value, or you can do plus or minus, doesn't matter, m1 minus m2 over 1 plus m1 times m2. M stands for the slope, and it just means the difference between m1 and m2 is just line 1 and line 2. So what are we told? Find the equations of the lines through the point 4, 3, which make an angle of 45 degrees with 6x plus y minus 5 equals 0. So just roughly to see what is happening here, there is a line which is 6x plus y minus 5 equals 0. Okay, we don't know if it actually goes in that direction or whatever, but just there's a line there, so you could orientate it like that. And there's another line which we don't know very much about, but the angle here, what we're told is that angle is 45 degrees. So that's 45 degrees. We could work out what the other angle is very easily, but we won't bother because it's not all that useful. Okay, we're also told that this other line, we're told that it goes through the point, I think it's 4, 3 is what it is. Okay, so that's what we're told. Okay, all we have to do is use the formula. So the formula, as we've just written above, is that tan theta is equal to the absolute value, or plus or minus, whichever way you want to think of it, m1 minus m2 over 1 plus m1 m2. And we can just fill in the values here. Okay, it's going to be the tan of 45 degrees is equal to, well, this slope here, we'll call it m2. We don't know that one. And that's the only thing that we're not going to know inside of the equation. So we will be able to solve the equation based on that. But this one here, we do know what the slope is. So a really, really important thing to learn off is that, I think I mentioned this at the last class, when you've written down an equation like this, and it's written in that form, you can just immediately get the slope by saying minus a over b. So in this case, the slope, we'll call it slope 1, is equal to minus a, that's minus 6, over b, which is just 1. So that slope is minus 6. So we can now use that inside of our equation down here. m1 is minus 6, minus m2, which we don't know, and it's 1, and then it's going to be added to minus 6 times m2, so that is just minus 6 m2s. Okay, tan 45 degrees, we should just go and figure out what is tan 45. I'm pretty sure it's 1, and it is. So tan 45, we just type that into a calculator, obviously, is equal to minus 6 minus m2 over 1 minus 6 m2. And we're going to be able to figure out what is m2 based on this. So let's just remind ourselves, what does absolute value mean? The absolute value of 10 is 10. The absolute value of minus 10 is also 10. So the absolute value of minus 2 is 2. And the absolute value of 2 is 2. So when you think about it, the number that's inside there, in order for the absolute value of that thing to be 1, the number which has to be inside there has to be 1, because the absolute value of 1 is 1, or it has to be minus 1, because the absolute value of minus 1 is 1. So we actually can break this into two different things. we can say that minus 6 minus m2 over 1 minus 6 m2, we can say that that thing's 1, or we can say minus 6 minus m2 over 1 minus 6 m2 is equal to minus 1. Both are correct, and we're going to get out 2 answers. It's a bit of a pain calling it m2, so let's just call it m. It's a little bit easier. We'll multiply both sides by 1 minus 6m, or m2 as we were using here. So we get minus 6 minus m2 is equal to 1 amount of 1 minus 6 m2s. Sorry, I thought I had said that I would call it m, but I've committed now. Okay, we bring it to one side, m2s to one side and numbers to the other. So we're going to add 6m to both sides. When we do that, we get 5m here. And we're going to add 6 to both sides. And we're going to end up with 7. So we get that m2 is 7/5. That is one of the equations that will do it. Probably worth talking about why are there 2 equations. Well, if you just think of one line here, and if you were to do another one where you create 45 degrees, yeah, that's perfectly plausible. But there could be another one that also does 45 degrees. Okay, so it's definitely possible for there to be more than one answer with these sorts of things. Okay, we just do the same over here. Oops, try that again. Minus 6 minus m2 is equal to minus 1 amounts of 1 minus 6 m2s. Okay, we add m2 to both sides, we get 7 m2s. We add 1 to both sides, we get minus 5, so pretty similar, but not quite answer. 5 over 7 is equal to m2. There we go. What was the actual question? It was find the equation of the lines. So there's 2 answers. That's why there's 2 slopes. That goes through the point 4, 3. So we're given a slope, we're given a point, and you should instantly then be able to say, yeah, if you're given a point and a slope, it's y minus y1 is equal to m times x minus x1. So that's our x1 and our y1. Y minus 3 is equal to, we'll take 7/5 first, times x minus 4. I think if we just call that over 1, 7x minus 28 all over 5, and then multiply both sides by 5. 5y minus 15 is equal to 7x minus 28. And now you can finish it whatever way you want. We'll just say 0 is equal to 7x minus 5y. What's this going to be? We add 15 to both sides. Excuse me, we get minus 13. Yeah. Okay, do the same over here. Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Y minus 3 is equal to minus 5/7 times x minus 4. And again, I just suggest you write that over 1, just means you won't make any silly mistake. Minus 5x plus 20 over 7. Multiply both sides by 7. And again, whichever side you want to go, it's all good. 5x plus 7y minus 41 equals 0. So that's exercise 7.6, and it's question 11. We'll just flick to the back of the book and check if we're right. 7.6, question 11. So it's 5x plus 7y minus 41 equals 0. Perfect. 7x minus 5y minus 13 equals 0. Also good. Excellent. Okay, look, what I would do is I would take that there as being our last little bit of coordinate geometry of the line. You should, of course, try that one out yourself if you want to. They have similar ones, like question 10 would be similar from the same exercise, and question 15, that's maybe what I would suggest that you go and do. Next time what we'll do is we will go and do a coordinate geometry of the circle question. What I might do, I think, is I'll make a just a very, very small little exam of coordinate geometry of the line. Send it out to all of you, and you can send it back. I'll correct it and get it out to you. We'll do like 3 or 4 questions, just something that will show you that you know it or you don't. Okay, gents, take care. All the best.